Your practice could be losing more than $1 million on a decision that you made years ago and probably haven't looked at since. And it's not because of one major financial mistake, but because small percentages or outdated agreements and inefficient systems quietly compound year after year. So a 1% fee doesn't sound expensive, and an extra employee doesn't really feel unnecessary. Or maybe an underperforming service may still look successful because it's bringing in revenue. When you calculate these decision costs over 10 or 20 years, then the numbers can be staggering. I've worked in healthcare for over 20 years, and I see practice owners focusing heavily on increasing revenue, while rarely auditing the decisions quietly reducing their profit. So I'm going to show you 5 mistakes that could cost your practice hundreds or thousands, or maybe even millions over a lifetime. I'm going to show you the math and why these mistakes are easy to miss and what to do instead. And if you want help identifying where your practice might be losing money right now, you can book a free call with us. The link's in the description. So the first mistake is paying a percentage-based fee for years without actually calculating what that fee actually costs you. 7% does not sound that bad compared to $56,000. But let's say your practice collects $800,000 a year and your billing company charges 7%. That's $56,000 every year. And over 10 years, that's $560,000. And over 20 years, you have paid that billing company more than $1.1 million. Now, that doesn't automatically mean that your billing company is overpriced. If they're increasing collections, reducing your denials, managing your accounts receivable, and saving you from hiring an internal billing company, they may be worth every dollar. The mistake is paying that percentage indefinitely without ever auditing the value you are receiving. Because as your practice grows, their fees grow too. And billing isn't the only place this happens. Look at your merchant processing fees. If your practice is processing $500,000 in credit card payments every year and pays approximately 3% in processing fees, then that's about $15,000 a year. Again, you need the service, but have you actually tried to negotiate your fee as your transactions have increased? Or have you been paying the same agreement for years because no one thought to question it? Here's what you should do instead. Make a list of every percentage-based fee in your practice. Your billing company, your merchant fees, revenue sharing agreements, management fees. Any vendor even whose payment automatically increases when your revenue increases. Then convert every percentage into actual dollars. This way you know exactly how much you're paying. Then go to each vendor and ask if they would look at adjusting your percentage since your revenues increased. This is super common in medical billing companies. They will decrease their percentage as your billing increases over time. Mistake number 2 is signing an insurance contract and then never looking at the reimbursement rate again. Many practice owners don't realize that those rates can be negotiated or renegotiated over time. Let's just do an example. Let's say you see 20 patients a day with one particular insurance, and your average revenue is about $120 per patient visit. If you successfully renegotiate $15 more per visit, that would be an extra $300 per day. And over 1 year, that's an extra $75,000 in additional revenue without seeing more patients. And guess what? Over 10 years, that's $750,000, all from negotiating one item in one contract. Now, does that mean that every insurance company is going to agree to increase their rates? No. But if you've been contracted with the same payer for years and your patient volumes increase, or your reimbursement rate is below the average, then you may have a stronger case than you think. So here's what to do instead. Review your major insurance contracts and reimbursement rates once every year. Compare what each payer is reimbursing for your highest volume services. Identify the contracts that are underperforming and request a rate review. The answer may be no, but many practices are leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table simply because they never asked. Mistake number 3 is about keeping the wrong employees because you think it's too expensive to replace them, while failing to invest in keeping the one employee or the multiple employees that are doing a really good job. Sometimes practice owners keep underperforming employees because they do not want to retrain or recruit or pay more for somebody new. But keeping the wrong person has a cost too. If an employee is repetitively making billing errors, fails to follow up with patients, creates problems for the rest of the team, or maybe delivers poor patient experience, they may be costing the practice more than what it would take to replace them. Again, think about what the lifetime value of one patient is worth to you. If you lose that because of one of your employees, that offsets the cost right there. But remember, constant turnover is expensive. Replacing a front desk employee or medical assistant can cost thousands when you include recruiting, training, overtime, loss to productivity, and additional workload placed on your team. So here's what you're going to do. Do not keep underperforming employees because you think replacing them is going to cost you more. But do not lose great employees because you're unwilling to offer competitive pay or recognize their value or create an environment that makes them want to stay. Remember, keep investing in the right people and address problems with the wrong people before their performance costs your practices a lot of money. And if you want help figuring out where your practice might be losing money and building a plan to fix it, then that's exactly what we do. Schedule a free call with the link in the description. Okay, mistake number 4 is building a practice that cannot live without you. Many med spa owners and medical practices spend decades growing a successful practice, but never stop to ask, what would the business be worth if I wanted to sell it tomorrow? Because revenue alone does not determine the value of your practice. A practice collecting $1 million a year with documented systems, a strong team, predictable income, and patients who are connected to the practice may be valuable to a buyer. But another practice collecting the same amount of income may be worth significantly less because every patient wants to work with the owner. Every decision has to be with the owner, and the practice can't even operate when the provider's gone. A buyer is not just buying what your practice earns today. They're buying what they believe your practice can continue earning after you leave. So here's what to do instead. Even if you have no plans to sell anytime soon, start building a practice that can operate without you. Document your systems and train your team to make decisions. Delegate responsibilities that do not require you, and build patient loyalty around the practice, not only around one person. Every time you make the practice less dependent on you, you're not only getting more of your time back, you may also be increasing the long-term value of the business that you're building. Mistake number 5, waiting too long to fix what you already know that's wrong. Most practice owners have at least one thing that they've been pushing off. Maybe it's addressing an employee that's not doing a good job. Maybe it's increasing prices. Or maybe it's implementing a system that the practice needs. Usually they're waiting for more time, or more information, or for the right moment. But every mistake I just talked about becomes more expensive the longer you wait. So here's what to do instead. Think about which mistake in this video made you the most uncomfortable. That's probably the one that you need to look at first. Choose an action that you can take this week, not 6 months from now. Small financial mistakes do not stay small when you repeat them for 10 to 20 years. But remember, you don't have to figure it all out and fix everything at once. Start with one mistake that's costing your practice the most, and take that first step this week. And if one of those problems is that everything still lies around you, I made a full video about how to use Claude AI in your practice that can help you create some SOPs, build HR documents, and improve communication, and streamline some of the operational work to free up your time. So if you want to help start building better systems and getting some of your time back, then the next step's to check out the next video I made, and I'll see you there.